Oh my God, I'm sitting here with my AirPods on thinking, but they're not.
Wrong.
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 Wrong
All right.
device.
Nice effort.
What
I
series? Do
will
you know what series this is before I forget?
55. Who could know? Hang on, let me look. This will be series 21.
Okay, series 21. Do we know what it's called? The
I
series?
have no idea.
No. My
That's
Christmas
a
mugs. I pulled
mystery.
down my favorite Christmas mugs.
Huh. I figured almost that you'd be in a onesie today. I gotta be real. Honest.
I had Christmas pajamas on, but I changed for the podcast. Now I didn't change a lot. Obviously, I put on a t-shirt and a sweatshirt,
Uh-huh.
but I did have Christmas pajamas on, as Kaya says. Yes, I did. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Renee. Happy belated 3-0.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yes.
girl. I
Yes.
was getting such like anxiety under that blanket with you. Like I was like, oh God, put her in the chair. Move the chair to her.
Ethan made me wear that blanket for like 15 minutes in the car, and I said, Ethan, you have to tell me if we're close because I think I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna
It got so
suffocate
hot
in
under
here.
there. It was
Oh
terrible.
my God.
I'm like, next time use a blindfold.
Yeah.
When I'm 40, I'll just bring a sleep mask like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with no reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello, and thank you for taking a seat at the table. We have a special guest with us today. We are in series 21. So seated at the table with me today is Rachel Flanagan,
Hey everybody.
Jamie Ramos,
Hello.
Kim McIsaac,
Hi there.
Tabitha Cabrera.
Hello.
I'm Jen Dunn, and joining us tonight is Renee Sellers. Hello, Renee.
Hey, how are
Hey
y'all?
girl.
Joining us. I almost said Renee from Life with Lucy,
I
Opal and
know.
Lucy, but we can talk about that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Renee. I am an autism mama. I stay at home. We do all the therapies and things with the girls. I do have two girls on the spectrum. Opal just turned 6 like 2 weeks ago, and Lucy's 3. My husband's in ministry. He worked at a church for 8 years, then he worked at a coffee shop. Now he's back in ministry. So we've done a ton of stuff this year. It's kind of been crazy, but we roll with the punches, and here we are.
And Lucy was just recently diagnosed, correct?
About a year ago.
About a year ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Adorable. I think she is a carbon copy of you, and I think Opal looks exactly like Ethan. Like,
oh, absolutely. Yes.
age and age, yeah. So this series that we're doing is we're interviewing bloggers and interviewing them about why they share their story. We're all autism mamas, but what led you into the blogging world of sharing? I was like, well, first it was life with Opal. Then it was Life with Opal and Lucy, which loved, and now we'll talk about where you are now.
Yes. So the reason I started sharing, Opal went through this huge regression at 2.5, and that's when we even discovered what autism was. We had no idea. Obviously, we know she was autistic before that, but back then, I think I felt so blindsided that when she was diagnosed, I just wanted the whole world to know. Like, I was like, we all need to know what autism is and who autistic people are. And so I started sharing, and it's kind of turned into like, even just Facebook is more like educating people, and then Instagram's more like talking to other moms who totally get it like me. It was Life with Opal because we only had one kiddo diagnosed, and then it turned into Life with Opal and Lucy, and then we just changed it to Rainbows After Rain just because with kids and social media and everything right now, I just kind of wanted to take the girls' names out of my name, and I also didn't want to feel like I could only share about them. I kind of wanted to share about the whole journey and everything. So we're Rainbows After Rain now.
I love that. And Jamie changed hers as well for that reason, just so that it wasn't so specific. And they actually do recommend that to be a little bit more broad across the spectrum on that stuff. But
yes.
Yeah, I like it's. How did you choose that name? It's pretty. I like the rainbows.
Yeah.
You remind me of Opal.
Yes. We've always loved rainbows. I feel like our hardest time wasn't after the diagnosis, it was before. You know, we are Christians and we believe in God. And so in that time, I kind of felt alone. And there were times where there would just be random rainbows everywhere. And I just felt, I was like, I can do this. Like, it's going to be okay. And so it's just kind of become like a beacon of our family. Like, we see rainbows everywhere. People send us rainbows. And, one of the reasons I share is to give other moms hope, maybe moms that are just on this journey. And, there's always rainbows after rain. So that's why I
Love
did
that.
Yeah.
I love it too.
And Tabitha also has 2 kiddos on the spectrum, and like even typical siblings aren't the same. They're very different.
Mhm.
I mean, siblings in general, you're not the same person. But I live for Lucy videos. She is the funniest kid, especially when you're exercising and she's like right in front of the
Yeah.
camera. But she is talking a lot lately.
Yes.
Has that just kind of randomly
Yeah.
had this growth?
Yes. So when she was diagnosed, she was technically nonverbal, and I think that's why they gave her the level they gave her. And to someone that isn't in the autism world, I don't think people believe me when I tell them that she's autistic, especially now that she can talk. But a lot of it, she can be conversational, but like new people or anything, she just kind of shuts down and like doesn't want to speak. But her vocabulary has just in like a year and a half time. I mean, it's crazy. She can talk really, really well, especially if
Fun
it's
to watch her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
loves to
think that's
sing.
interesting with the siblings too, because I think my 2 kiddos and your 2 kiddos, like side by side, like gives the definition of like if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person,
Yes.
because they have just like different qualities and
Mhm.
skills, and you have the same, I think, opposite of me. Your oldest
Yep.
is nonverbal, and then
Yes.
and we have backwards of that. Nora's nonverbal, the younger one, but
Yes.
it's fascinating with siblings. I think it's would be a crazy case study for them to do, like study autistic siblings in family structures, the differences in siblings.
Yeah, and
Fascinating.
it's crazy when people like know Opal. So then when I tell people like Lucy's autistic, they're like, but she's nothing like Opal. And so you have that whole like conversation of like, it's a spectrum. People that are autistic aren't the same, and which is really educational, but everyone asks that. And I'm like, that's what she can
Here's a
talk.
little
She's
business
not
card I
autistic.
printed up for this very issue.
Here you
You
go.
can read it in your
Yeah.
car and
Yeah.
then follow my blog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in that second diagnosis, I think people don't maybe understand that it's similar but also different, because you know so much more, but you're still like processing the same amount of feelings at the time, and
Yes.
maybe almost more feelings depending on how it presents or how you end up with a diagnosis or whatever takes place with that. But it's not any less feeling than when your first kiddo was diagnosed. I feel like it almost hit me like a brick with Nora than with Nixon. It was so long of a track with him. With her, it was almost like breathtaking,
Mm-hmm. Because then you think of the future and you kind of already like we're okay with like maybe my kiddo might never move out of my house, maybe we'll be with them forever, and then a second one, and it's just like that their journeys are going to be different. But having one child on the spectrum is hard, but having 2, it's just you don't have enough hands, you don't have enough
Ever.
anything. So
Yeah.
it's
Eyeballs,
Yeah.
energy,
ears.
Yeah.
snacks,
Yes.
certain snacks. I mean,
Sanity.
She throws in juice boxes.
I mean, there's never enough. There's never
Never.
enough. Yeah.
So how do you think sharing your page, your blog, or your Instagram? You have quite a large following on Instagram, which some people love Instagram over Facebook. I can barely handle the Facebook. I'm not very good on the Instagram, but you do great on it. How has sharing your story, how has sharing it impacted you or others? Like maybe in your family, like you said, that only knew Opal and
Yes. I think it's a great open door to educate other people, because they'll say stuff like, Opal carries around, or she used to carry around a brush. Now she likes rubber ducks, but now she's kind of going back to her brush. And, people will say things like, oh my gosh, I saw that picture of Opal with her brush, and we can talk about that. Or they might see a reel about her AAC device and they might talk about that, or things like that. So I think it's just a great tool. And then I also think it's a great thing because even if someone doesn't have autism in their family, when they hear of someone else, they're like, I sent them your page and I told them if they ever needed to talk to you, that they could talk to you. So I just think it's a great thing to share your story.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's that, you know, and Kimmy has always said it, if she just gets one person that's struggling in that moment, that, you know, and I was chatting with another mama earlier, and she's like, it's just so lonely. I'm like, it is very lonely, especially when you start out, because you feel like no one else in the world is going through what you're going through, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's great. Where do you draw inspiration from?
So I feel like inspiration comes from everywhere. A bad day, a good day, wins,
Yes.
lows, all of it. Like today, Lucy was asking me for cereal, and they usually just eat it dry because number one, it's just a mess to get the milk and all of that out. And just, I'm like, let's just do the easy thing. But today I was like, you know what? Let's try to put milk in a bowl too. And Opal's very sensory, like sensitive. So like mixing like dry cereal with milk, I was like, I don't know if she's even gonna try it. She tried it and she liked it. And Lucy's
amazing.
been in OT trying to use a spoon and a fork for well over a year at this point. And she took the spoon and just dipped it in the cereal and just took a big bite. Like it didn't fall off the spoon or anything. And I was just like, oh gosh. So like
Second bite falls off because you freak out.
yeah. Yes.
And think about that for
I
somebody.
love that.
Something so simple that people take for granted. And I bet you were jumping up and down, so proud of her for
Oh, for
taking
sure.
that bite
Yep.
with a
It was
spoon. That's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah. Helps you
That's
appreciate
great.
the little things that aren't little to us, but are little to everybody else. Yeah.
I almost had a seizure just now. Like I was like, oh. You know, that like first full out. We always say, Renee, that like our kids must have like a perfectionism in this building of the first try, because you don't have a skill at all, and then all of a sudden you're like writing books about it.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. And it's
I
hard
couldn't
to
grab
like
the spoon yesterday, but now I can use it completely. You're welcome.
yeah, like fully. Like I don't even need your help. Yeah. And it's crazy, like when they do something new, you either scream really loud or you're like trying like to stay so calm because you don't
Right.
want to like freak them out.
Yeah.
So I think I even did that with Opal today. Like when she took a bite, I was just like holding my breath, like, oh my gosh, is she gonna try it? And then Lucy, I was like, ah! So it was just
A
like,
whole thing.
even that different for both kids. So yeah.
Amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I find too that like you're like, where's the phone or the camera?
Yeah.
Like, will I do it again? Like
I know.
now Alyssa's getting, she won't always do it, but like a lot of times, like now she knows, so she'll do it again. And this is a kid who
Yes.
wouldn't even let me take her picture. Like before I had a page, I couldn't even take, like we've got multiple occasions where like there's no pictures of her because she would like freak out so bad. And now here she is like repeating.
She's
Yeah.
like voguing.
Posing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, can you do that again? And she's like, sometimes she won't, but like a lot of times she will. I'm like, okay, just
Jesse
getting
would
this
never.
down.
He would never.
I feel like all of our kids go through that, like ham, no ham.
Yes. I feel
Mhm.
like Opal's going through that right now. Like she just doesn't love pictures, so I don't like force her to take them. But I'm
Because you
like,
just had family photos, right?
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Which we usually have a friend take our photos just so like she can follow them while they're running and take pictures, you know? And so it was actually really sweet. Our church was having a fundraiser and someone sponsored us because they were like, we know you're a one income family and we wanted to pay for you guys to get family pictures. So it was a totally different experience. And I was like, we got to make this as quick as possible. Opal is not going to sit there and take a picture. And they were so kind and so inclusive. And it was quick and short and we left.
I
So.
love that. I hope
That's amazing. I emailed her school. I'm like, please do not pose her. Don't try to,
Yeah.
because it confuses her, right?
Yes.
So when it's just too many things coming at our kids and people don't understand that. But,
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to see them. So what are your hopes for your blog or your Instagram?
Other than educating others, because I feel like I run into people that have no idea what they're talking about. Like every day, I'm like, once I think like the world really has like learned a lot, I realize there are still so many people that have no idea about any of this. But I know that I've been the mom on the other side of the screen that has felt alone, that has felt like there's nobody that understands, there's nobody that gets it. And I just want to be that mom that says, like, there are people that get it, and there are people that have walked in your shoes, and I'm here for you. And I just don't want moms to feel alone. Like, our whole page is about bringing hope. Yeah, there's hard days. Yes, there's hard times. I think Opal's whole 5, like the whole year she was 5 was probably the most difficult of her life, but she's doing really, really good right now. And there's always hope. There's always rainbows after rain. So, and
Yeah.
if it's gonna keep raining, I'll bring you an umbrella. So
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that. Love that, friend.
put that on a shirt, Renee.
Girl.
that's a good
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
Hurry
Good
before
idea.
Rachel hits the
I
bonfire.
will. Give me your log and I'll make it right quick.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Oh, that's beautiful, friend. Well, thank you for joining us. Everyone can find Renee on Facebook at Rainbows After Rain and on Instagram, rainbows_after_rain. So go give
Yes.
her a follow on both platforms. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to see your face,
Thanks for
Renee.
sharing your
Yes,
girls.
friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love you guys. I listen to the episodes like every Monday, so
Yay.
Thank
it's an
you.
honor.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode of the Table for 5 No Reservations podcast. If you are enjoying the podcast, please remember to rate and review us wherever you're listening. If you'd love more content from us and to be part of our community, make sure to become a subscriber. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. See you next time.